All right, welcome back to, I don't even know what part this is, 3, I think. All right, so moving on to the Chargers. A couple questions here. Phillip Rivers in his last year of his contract, talking about if the Chargers move, he might not want to be a part of that team anymore. Does Phillip Rivers leave San Diego, either via trade, contract just doesn't re-sign an extension? Any means, does Phillip Rivers leave San Diego?
I don't know. He's been the face of that place for a while. You know where he should if he leaves?
Jay Cutler?
I was actually thinking within that division. Detroit needs to get rid of Matt Stafford, and I'm not saying Phillip Rivers would be a long-term fix. Hold him over for a couple of years.
He could with Calvin Johnson and Golden Tate and everybody else. He could actually he could possibly take them to the promised land.
Yes, he could. I mean, he has those moments. Come on, last year. Let's look at the beginning of the first half of the season. Everybody's talking Phillip Rivers for MVP early on.
True. Which, since you went ahead and mention, I'm going to skip down a little bit. Actually, no, it's the next question. Who you take from that infamous draft, Eli or Phillip Rivers?
Rivers. I mean, I know Eli's got 2 rings, but I'm just chalking that up to
Luck. Lady Luck. I mean, Eli's had 50-something turnovers in the past 2 years between fumbles and interceptions?
Yeah, I mean, how many... Didn't he have, multiple games last year where he threw 4 or 5 interceptions?
Yeah, he did. I mean, let's not forget, it was either last year or the year before, he had 25 interceptions. Okay, I think it was the year after he won the Super Bowl, because in 2011, he came out, I don't know, it was around the time he won his last Super Bowl. It was either right before or right after. He came out and said, yeah, I'm elite. He had 30 touchdowns and a total of 30 turnovers. He had 25 interceptions and 5 fumbles. I don't remember what year it was. I'm not going to look it up. It ain't really that big of a deal, but... Dude, no! You are not elite! Good job, Michigan State. No, man. No.
But it does make you scratch your head that how does Eli have more rings than Peyton?
Because it's a team game. It is a team game. It is not basketball where you can get one all-star to come in there and make everybody else better. Because everybody plays both ways.
Yeah, but Peyton,
this is
Peyton
a
had some
team
years
game.
where he had some talent around him.
Yeah, but not on defense. It was very one-sided in Indianapolis, just like it is now. Hence why Andrew Luck hasn't won the big one.
Yeah, you gotta... Well...
Eli Manning...
They might do a little... On the Colts for a second, they should do a little bit better this year because they actually should have at least a pretty consistent run game.
Yeah.
Luck ain't going to have to chuck the ball 50, 60
But
times.
that defense still got to get better. Luck's numbers are going to improve, sure, but is the team overall going to improve? I mean, Eli, he had the ground and pound. Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw, Derek Ward. He had decent receivers out there. He had a dominating defense.
Yeah.
You give anybody that kind of
They had a pass
talent.
rush that was...
Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan with his first one, O.C.U. Manura,
Jason Pierre-Paul.
They had a guy named Chris Mathis or something like that too. He was like a defensive tackle or something. But yeah, I mean, dude had a team. This is a team sport. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't won a Super Bowl since his last one because team. He's been fine. He's been great. He's been one of, if not the best quarterback in that 5-year period. I mean, he's won 2 MVPs and a Super Bowl. 3 out of those 5 years, he won something prestigious, whether it be a Super Bowl or an award.
There again, though, you go back to defense. Their defense has been porous.
And that's what I'm saying.
He's put up numbers. They score points.
He is a 10-time better quarterback than Eli Manning, but Eli's got more rings. And that's what I'm talking about.
Let's look at it. Well, the year they go 15-1, and he wins the MVP. Everybody's, they're a shoo-in for the Super Bowl. What happens?
No defense.
They crap down their leg.
No defense. Yep. Anyways, moving on. Can you name a Chargers running back?
Little white dude.
Woodhead.
Danny Woodhead.
You only remember him from the
What should I do?
You only remember him from that YouTube
Danny
video.
Woodhead. That's a good video.
But
I mean, Danny Woodhead, I can name him, but he's not.
he's not
He's not that guy that's gonna.
He's not a guy you're gonna hand the ball to 20 times a game. He's
That's
third
like
down
handing the ball to
specialist.
me 20 times a game. I'm sorry, in the NFL, I'm gonna get killed.
Right. Not only that, but by the way, Joe's wife, Michelle Mariana, some great homemade peanut butter cookies.
We have some milk.
Don't push your luck. So yeah, they need, despite what they think, they need to take a runner in this draft. It may not be the first round, but they need somebody. I mean, you can go out and get a David Cobb out of Minnesota. You know, he's a guy that's like a ground and pound kind of guy. Some guys have him getting Todd Gurley, which would be interesting, but can't really pair him with anybody because he's going to be not active for the first part of the season. So that rolls us into our next thing. I think they have to get a running back at some point. I don't know if it's the first round, but I think they need to get a running back at some point. I mean, you got Phillip Rivers. He's in his prime right now. They have a decent receiving core. Probably need to get some weapons because, Antonio Gates, he's like extremely aging. But, you definitely need some run support to help out that quarterback. They probably could use some help on defense as well.
I was just looking at what's predicted their top 5 draft needs, and linebackers right up there.
Yeah, was that O-line? Yeah, O-line, linebacker, running back. Thank you. Oh, branding.
Tech of the pack.
Indeed. Attack of these cookies. All right, so
It's good stuff, man.
so who do you think? What do you think they take? Who do you think they take? As I ask you as soon as you bite into a cookie.
Who do they pick, or what position they go for?
Who I guess. That's what we've been doing.
He's just like,
I'm going to say they're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are so good they're not worth stopping eating to do the show. That's how damn good these are. That's why I haven't taken a bite yet. Because
And
once you pop, you can't stop.
these aren't even her best cookies.
But this isn't Promote Michelle's Cookie Hour. This is Attack the Pack.
branding.
Well, why not? Get some advertising, marketing. Start a bakery. Home business.
You gonna want cover?
I can't come up with a actual person that come up with take, but I don't know. I'd probably say they'd go with the offensive line or linebacker.
I don't know which type of linebacker they need. I guess all of them. But there's a couple of good ones out there that could be available, like Eli Harold. They pick around 17. Yeah, 17th. So he could be there, but that may or may not be a reach. And then O-line, yeah. You got TJ Humphries. He could be there. It could be a possibility. He's supposedly really good, so you can throw him in there. Of course, there's people like Lael Collins and the OJ Clemens or I don't know, something Clemens out of Pitt. So TJ Clemens, I think that's it. But there are a plethora of choices at pick 17 for them to make. All right, moving on to the Chiefs. Would you consider upgrading Alex Smith in the very near future? Granted, they already have Aaron Murray, the Georgia quarterback from yesteryear.
Who? First NFL throw. Touchdown.
Yeah, you know who else did that? Matt Leinart. His first
Oh.
NFL throw was a touchdown to Anquan Bolden for like
I would
61
look for the right person that you think would be the right fit that you can develop for a couple of years. Because you still have a solid game manager in Alex Smith. Who, I mean, if they,
But let's be honest.
he's not going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Let's be honest. I mean, he could. Hey, if Trent Dilfer can be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, just about anybody can. Brad Johnson. But are the Chiefs ever going to get that stingy and big of a defense in his time there? I don't think so. But let's be honest. If Aaron Rodgers was on that team, one of those receivers would have caught a touchdown last year. Come on. Let's be honest for a minute. So, I don't know. I think if you go the sit and develop path, then you're not really gonna know what you have until about 3 years from now when Alex is like no longer worth it. And yeah. So I don't know, that may put you in a precarious situation. Do you think the Chiefs receivers will catch a touchdown this year? Or will the drought continue?
Somebody will catch one.
I'd say it's got to happen, right?
Sooner or later.
Eventually. Some receiver wearing a Kansas City jersey has to catch a pass. Does it count in the preseason, though?
No, we're looking.
That's the question.
We're looking for a regular season touchdown. Can it be done?
I hope so. For the Kansas City fans, I hope so. Here's a good one. Will Jamal Charles challenge for the rushing title this year? Will he be a serious contender?
I'd say yeah. I mean, you've got some serious contenders out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But at least one, possibly two of the most serious contenders are going to be on your teams. DeMarco Murray's in a different system, on a different team. Adrian Peterson could very well be on a different team. Eddie Lacy's not going to win the rushing title.
No. Okay, but
But this is Jamal Charles' second year with Andy Reid. And so he's familiar with the system and stuff now.
yes. DeMarco Murray, I would say probably not going to win being in that new system. But like we talked about last week, he's going to be behind a good offensive line again.
I'm not saying he's not going to produce. I'm just...
Let's look at it this way. He might not win the rushing title, but Adrian Peterson is a freak of nature. I don't care what offensive line he's behind.
He could have no offensive line. He'd
He's
still
going to
get
put up some
1,000
numbers.
yards.
He will run your ass over.
You give him Christian Ponder and nothing else, and he will still put up at least 3 yards a carry. Yeah, I mean, look, LaShawn McCoy, different team. DeMarco Murray, different team. Adrian Peterson, possibly a different team. Eddie Lacy, he's never going to win the rushing title. Not as long as Aaron's healthy. If he's not healthy, sure, maybe.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy, he's not going to win the rushing title. I mean, you look around, Mark Ingram, no. CJ Spiller, not to mention Mark Ingram's not that great right now anyway. But, I mean, who else has a really good running back? Or Matt Forte, he's not going to win the rushing title.
Marshawn Lynch isn't. He's going to put up yards, but he's not going to.
Yeah. Because that team is it's still defensive orientated. So they're all about just not being on the field at all. And now with Jimmy Graham coming in, I'll tell you what, gaining Jimmy Graham and losing Max Unger, as I stated last time, is not going to help Marshawn Lynch in the least. Jimmy Graham is not a blocking tight end. Yeah. And Max Unger was very key to that dominant run blocking offensive line. So his numbers are probably going to drop.
Well, I mean, didn't they have a couple games last year where they played a stout defense and he didn't do anything?
Yeah, I mean, there were games where I think he only had like 60 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there had to be, because otherwise he would have been challenging for the rushing title. So, I mean, their rushing offense already wasn't... I mean, he made, just like Andrew Peterson, he made that team look better with his presence. But still, losing Max Unger and gaining Jimmy Graham does not help Marshawn Lynch in the slightest. Lastly, who do you think the Chiefs get
The Chiefs in the draft.
in the draft?
I don't know, maybe they should get a wide receiver.
Survey says wide receiver. Congratulations, you won a cookie.
Speaking of cookies, I better go get those.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, last time they went out and got a wide receiver. Well, technically, last time they did it was John Baldwin. I don't remember if he was first rounder or not, but that kind of failed horribly. And then they traded for Aurelius Ben, and that failed horribly. But prior to that, they had Dwayne Bowe. The only thing Dwayne Bowe ever did was garbage time production. So that kind of failed horribly. They really need to hit on this one. So a lot of people haven't taken Dorial Green Beckham. I don't know if I make that pick. Honestly, it's kind of a deep draft. I'd probably wait till the second round on wide receiver. Not really sure.
How about an offensive lineman?
I was about to say they do. There are some that have them taking offensive line. DJ Humphries, a tackle out of Florida. Brandon Scherf, tackle / guard out of Iowa. And then along the defensive line. So, yeah, I mean, they definitely have options out there. But their linebacking core is pretty solid. They might want to look for cornerback help late. But I would probably say offensive line first and then wide receiver in the second. All right, folks. We're going to wrap that up. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the NFC West, which contains, as you know, my favorite team to talk about, the fucking Seattle Seahawks. On Attack of the Pack. Boom. Got it. Just hit the red button.